Hey everybody, I wanted to drop in and show you what I've been working on in Fusion 360. This is a little folder knife that I've been working with that kind of motivated me to do some training videos on Fusion 360 and how you can use it in knife making. So this is a Lockback folder. It's one of the nice things about Fusion 360 is you can identify all the different parts. You can turn them off, front scale, front side. Then we can see we've got the little lock mechanism. This is the spring. This is going to be the beveled blade. And this is going to be the back piece, the back frame. We can turn the blade off, turn the lock and the spring off, and just see the frame with the pins in it. And we can turn those things back on. And Fusion 360 lets you create something called joints. And these joints are places where these pieces tie together. So this the back side is grounded. In other words, it doesn't move. So it allows you movable joints. It allows you to move them. Like I can move this lock bar and I can move the blade. Um, the spring is a fixed joint, so it doesn't rotate or move. Once it's in place, it's in place. Now I can't really um, simulate the physics of the spring in Fusion 360. But what I've done is I've limited the motion of this locking mechanism to just a few degrees. And I'm telling it that I want it to rest in this position. So if I push it somewhere, it's always going to push back to that position. Another thing that I've done is I enabled some contact sets. So one set is the blade and the lock, and another set is the blade and the spring. So the blade is on a circular joint, and the lock is on a circular joint, and they can't overlap because of the contact sets. So if I push on this, even though the physics wouldn't really let me do this, if I push this blade, it'll pop that lock out. As I rotate this around, I can see what's going to happen with the blade, with the lock. And then I've created because they keep pushing apart because of that contact set. And I've also created another contact set between the blade and the spring. So if I try to push this blade down too far, it'll hit that spring and I can't go any further. You get this. Now, because of the lock is at a resting position, or wants to go to that resting position, if I put this blade in a point where the tab here is going to push up on this, and it would normally push it closed, it'll push it closed. It's just so it's basically mimicking this spring, but it's not doing it directly. It's using those settings to affect the lock bar. Same thing over here. When I get close, that wants to return to that resting position. So if it's got any interaction in that notch at all to where it can settle, when I release it, it'll settle because the lock is trying to go back. Some other features, I can turn those front side scales and the side back on. I can also go up here and go into render. These are basically mirrored materials that I've used for the knife body parts. So when I rotate this, I can get a good look at what this is going to look like. And then the other nice thing about this is I can take all of these individual parts, front scale, the back side, the spring, front side. It's the back scale. That's the lock. This is the blade before the bevels was put on it. This is the ground blade. Um, the 3D tools to do this start getting a little tricky. Those are going to be a little bit on the advanced side, but something we can definitely eventually cover. But I can take these. I have a lot of options here. I can create a drawing and print this out and have a paper drawing of the individual parts, so that I can then transfer them and make them. What I'm probably actually going to do is I may try 3D printing these, and I may try laser cutting them out of acrylic or something like that, to see if I can get the spring in a way to where it actually sort of functions, and just see what this feels like. And then the great thing about using Fusion 360, I can go back into this this design and start looking at some of the things I want to change. I'm not real happy. I don't know what I'm in the back. Not real happy with this extra area up here. So I really don't need it here. It does give me a little bit of an area to hold my hand, my kind of a finger choil idea, but it's a little too high. It's too high there, and it's higher than it needs to be there. I need to hide that notch, but I could easily take 1/8 of an inch off of this, maybe a little hump, and then come down a little more. And it makes it fairly easy to do that. I can identify what I want to change, and then go back to these side pieces and modify, basically go back to the sketch on that. Where is it? Anyway, I can go back to the sketch and modify this contour if I don't want that material. And once I do that, I can go right back into I can save it up here. I can go back into my assembly, and it'll give me a little indicator up here that one of my parts is out of date. I'll just update it, and it will bring that new change into the design. So yeah, this is a great tool. Even if you just want to use it to make your designs and print them out, you can design around things like the diameter of wheels you have on your grinder. Um, you can design your knives around the tools you have so that you can be more efficient in how you make those knives, as well as push yourself and kind of see what small steps you can take to make some big jumps in what you're doing. So anyway, I created a video on YouTube about how to download and install Fusion 360 and how to get on the Autodesk website and start your account. And so I'm going to post a link to that as well as to this video that I've just done. And be sure to get on there and like the video, give it a thumbs up, give it a subscribe to the channel. That channel is going to be specifically for knife making and using Fusion 360 for that purpose. So subscribe to that, and you'll be up to date when we post something new. Anyway, good to talk to you. Hope you enjoy it. See you next time.